Great job by our guys. A lot of respect for the Cardinals. I thought they did some really good things defensively that kept us a little bit off guard. It's hard for us to be able to get into a rhythm, but I thought the defense kept us in the game, being able to handle the sudden change when we fumbled the punt return, being able to keep them to a minimum in the red area. I thought they did a really good job. And then I thought at the end of the first half, the big play, Matthew to Cooper, to even just get some positive momentum where you go 9-6 going in and you know you're going to get the ball coming out. And then I thought our offensive line, I thought Tyler Higbee, I thought Kyron Williams, they did an outstanding job. To be able to rush for 175 yards in the second half when you have 5 going into the first, going in at halftime, didn't have many plays. I thought they did a great job of really being able to control the game. They did an excellent job, Arizona did, of mixing some different personnel groupings, but I was really pleased with our group's effort. I thought Matthew and Cooper had some key and critical plays. The third down touchdown where they connected, that was a great big-time throw and catch by them. I even thought after we took the sack, to be able to have 2 completions in a row to Cooper, to be able to get it to a 3rd down and 8, and then what a throw and catch by them on the 3rd and 8 on our near sideline. I thought Matthew was really outstanding. Didn't have as many opportunities, but, man, he settled in and made the big-time throws when he had to. Cooper had, you look at it, and it's like, holy geez, you had 148, huh? So, but Kyron, the offensive line, Tyler Higbee was a big part of that, too, with just some of the different things that we were asking of him. And I thought the defense did a great job. Christian Roseboom's turnover when it's still a one-possession game, God, that was a big play. And those are the types of things that we want to be able to see. We make it more interesting than sometimes it needs to be, but love this group, and I love the resolve that they showed and the way that they were able to finish the game and kind of, handle it, especially in the 3rd and 4th quarters.
So in the third quarter, you guys came out and you sort of forced the issue with the run game and the consecutive runs. When you went in there at halftime, what was the conversation like with your players amongst the line?
What would you guess?
As colorfully as possible.
Yeah, no, it was that. And it was really, we got talked out of some things that we didn't necessarily need to and wanted to be able to let them, set their pads and be able to go downhill, and thought it was a great mixture of things that they were able to allow us to get off. And you have some explosive runs when you're able to have, 10 and 17 and then a 30-yard hit. Those are big-time deals, and it was awesome, but their execution is what enabled us to be able to do that. Really proud of those guys, Jordan.
Coach Kyron Williams, big time second half. Just what's your thoughts on his performance?
He was awesome. I was really proud of Kyron, and I think he's going to be good. Just got his ankle tweaked at the end, but he was running like an absolute man on a mission today. I thought he saw the holes great. I thought we were able to create great removal at the point of attack, and he was able to press it the right way and be able to level off. And then he ran through some arm tackles to create big-time explosives. The one on the far sideline in the 4th quarter was a big-time run where he ended up getting it down inside the tight red area. He had one on our near sideline in the 3rd quarter. So, he was the star in the second half. I think he ended up with just under $160, and pretty much all of those, as we just said. You got 5 yards rushing at half, you end up with 179. Last time I checked, that's a pretty good second half.
Coach, you talk about Cooper Kupp.
In your offensive line that maybe you have not seen up to this point.
I saw a rhythm. I thought I saw an opportunity to be able to get into a rhythm, get consecutive plays off where they were able to really assert themselves, and I thought that was key and critical. And there's been moments throughout the first 5 games that I think that's been illustrated, but not maybe quite to the level that we saw today. And everything is able to come off of that, and that was a big deal. But this was a great team win. I thought Austin Trammell's punt return early on in the game was a big-time deal. I have trust in him to be able to have better ball security when he gets his opportunities moving forward. But the one that he did have where he catches it deep, ends up being able to get, a really good positive return, that was a good thing. And thought Brett Maher and the field goal and the extra point operation today was excellent.
Coach, you talked about Cooper Kupp.
I think he's going to be good, yeah.
Talk about Cooper Kupp as far as him getting his very first touchdown for the season, but did he look like the Cooper Kupp that you were accustomed to seeing in this second game?
He did, and he looked like the Cooper Kupp we're accustomed to seeing last week. There was just the flow of the game was just a little bit different. You credit Philadelphia for last week, but I thought he made some big-time plays, Nick. You look at it at the end of the first half, that long connection that he and Matthew had, I don't know how much it was for. It was probably just under 50. The touchdown on the 3rd down in the red area in the 3rd quarter was huge. Matthews getting rushed. throws a speed out. You know, they kind of played like a bump bail technique with 13 into the near boundary, and it was a great just throw and catch where you see those two's rapport, you know, looking like they're kind of mid-season form, if you will. And then the 3rd and 8 play I thought was huge. You know, that was another, I mean, you talk about tight window throws and, you know, good trust in one another. So Cooper was outstanding today. Had a couple things early on in the game, and then once he settled in, he was a huge factor for us, and Matthew as well.
Coach, when you look at
when you're going into halftime, are you aware how many runs you called in the first half?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have many plays at all. Some of the looks we got talked out of that we didn't want to. I knew we had, 3 runs in the first half. So, yes, I was aware of that.
Coach, when you look at the toughness of Puka Nacua and Ben Skoranek was like nose deep in the middle of the scrum, how do they exemplify the culture that you built?
The toughness, you know, the selflessness. I think you're looking at guys playing the receiver position, all the different things that we ask of them. I'm glad you brought up Puka too, because some of the things that we were doing with him, based on, you know, their personnel groupings and their matches, you can't do that unless you have a player like Puka Nacua. And so he was a huge factor, basically an extension of the line and the tight ends. And, you know, the run game, we talk about it taking all 11. I thought Matthew's management of getting us in and out of some of the right looks was key and critical, but it was truly the epitome of it takes all 11 to be able to run the football efficiently, and that was on display. I love those guys.
Was there really need to have that dramatic of a run differential between the first half and the second half? Was it the flow of the second half? Or
Yeah, it was snaps. I mean, we didn't have a 3rd down conversion in the first half either. You know, so you're talking about when you get to 3rd downs, and we didn't have a whole lot of 3rd downs in the second half because we were able to be so efficient on those early downs. And so I think the first thing is you got to give credit to, you know, Jonathan Gannon and Nick Rallis. They did some things that, you know, I didn't have us in good positions early on. And so I give them a ton of credit. I thought once our guys were able to settle down, be able to adjust. But, you know, it's all about if you're not converting on those 3rd downs, you're going to have minimal opportunities. That was what was reflected. But however you cut it, it's an excuse. And I got to do a better job right from the jump for our guys and put them in some better spots.
You guys scored points off the takeaways today, as opposed to maybe in previous weeks. First of all, can you talk us through those takeaways by your defense and also getting the points on the other side?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of already mentioned the Rose Boom one, and then, you know, to be able to get that forced fumble and to be able to fall on it, you know, I thought we were able to affect and influence, you know, Dobbs all day. I thought the rush did a good job. We rushed with integrity. I thought we really played 11 as one on defense, Jordan, and to be able to get a couple of those turnovers. The Rose Boom one was critical. Ended up, I believe the second one, we ended up just having to settle for a field goal, but that ended up making it more than a one-possession game, which was big. And, you know, I'm really proud of our guys, and those were huge plays. I thought it was a really good team win today that was on display.
Sean, Josh Dobbs has done some good stuff this season. How significant is it that you kept him out of the end zone?
I think it's big. You know, their offense has done a really good job. You know, I got a ton of respect when you flip the tape on and you look at the way they've been able to efficiently move the football. They've mixed personnel groupings. You know, they were one of the top teams in the league rushing-wise. Obviously, Connor wasn't, you know, there today, and he's a great player. But I thought Dobbs' ability to just be able to read, recognize coverage, get his different playmakers the ball, and then whether it be some of the design runs or some of the different things where he can create off schedule, he did that in the first half. Thought we did a good job of being able to make some adjustments, keep him bottled up. But again, he's done a really nice job, and I've been really impressed with his body of work through 6 games. Okay, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach. I got to go watch the tape. Obviously, we didn't execute well enough in the first half. Had some opportunities to make some plays, didn't. I thought it was big to sneak 3 there at the end of the half. Being able to hit that ball to Coop down there and then obviously come away with the field goal was great. Good for momentum. And I love the way we played the second half. Love the way guys up front had the opportunity to kind of set their pads, go in there and run the football. Kyron ran it great. All the backs did a nice job. Opened up some stuff in the pass game for us, and we were able to make some plays. First time I feel like we've kind of played complementary football. Getting turnovers on defense, taking care of the ball for the most part on offense, and it's usually a good recipe.
Matthew, when you talk about just looking at the timing between you and Cooper last week versus this week, do you see what improvements do you see in coming together as far as that's concerned?
Yeah, I mean, I think each individual play is its own little moment in time. So sometimes you're going to be on, sometimes you're not. Even within games. So I thought we obviously connected for some good ones today. Going to try to continue to do that and spread the ball around as much as I can and get everybody involved. But I thought Coop did a really nice job.
Going back to that opening drive of the second half,
yeah.
When you have 8 or 9 straight run plays, what's that like for you, especially when you're seeing Kyron get to the second level?
It's awesome. I love it. I was so fired up, stepping back into the huddle each time with the run play. Those guys were loving it. I was loving it. It was fun. It wasn't anything too tricky. Just kind of line up and go play ball. And I was proud of those guys for the way they played, both in the pass game and the run game. The guys up front did a really nice job. And our backs ran it great. And guys on the perimeter blocked. I mean, for us to run the way we did, everybody's got to have their hand in it. We asked Puka to block a defensive end a few times today, and he was doing it. So, the more of that kind of stuff we can get, the better we're going to be.
Does the offense need that type of performance to know that you can do this the rest of the way? I mean, every game when you need to.
Well, it's each game is different. Each defense is different in how you attack it. I thought we did a great job at halftime of kind of making the adjustments to go out there and play the second half the way we wanted to play it. It's not as easy as lining up and just running the ball all the time. The defenses are going to have their hand in it, and we got to do a good job staying on the field on third down, all those kind of things. Our defense is doing a great job of keeping the score down on the other side of the ball, so, gave us time to go out there and run it in the second half. But it's definitely something to build on, but you got to go out there and prove it every single week, as we know.
Matthew, a couple of the linemen in there talked about that feeling of getting out, setting pads, and forcing the issue. As the quarterback, when you feel that from them, what does that feel like?
That's great. I've never been able to block anybody like that in my life, so I don't know what the hell that feels like. It's got to feel pretty good for them. I imagine being able to lean on people and move them around, do what you want to do, and then, our backs running physical, guys on the perimeter. That's an awesome thing to be a part of, and, just happy for those guys. They got that done, and really, like I said, did a great job in the run game and the pass game.
Did you and Sean have a conversation? Did you and Sean have a conversation at halftime about the balance of run and pass in the first
No,
half?
I think, like I said, I thought it was great to get 3 right before the half, kind of get a little bit of momentum going. But second half, we were just talking about, committing to, basically getting some runs off and letting our guys go. And then, when you're getting 15, 12, 10, 6, 5, 15 again, no reason not to keep running it. So it was awesome to be a part of that.
Matthew, on the deep ball, Cooper kind of joked, they needed the speedster on that one, and he's never caught that route since he's been. Did you look at him in the huddle? What was that like?
Well, no, actually, Sean was asking me. We had another play in mind, which like we do quite a bit. Yeah, you want this one or you want the other one? That was the one I wanted, and obviously didn't know they were going to play that coverage, and where the ball is going to go, but played a certain coverage where Coop had the one-on-one and had a deep route. He told me that was the first one of those he's caught. I joked with him, told him it's probably the last, but I was happy for him, and it was a big play for us in the game just to get a little bit of momentum because they were doing a nice job against us in the first half, and be able to get out of there with 3, kind of keep, know we're getting the ball back in the second half to start was great.
And then can you take us through that 3rd and 8, it was like a 3rd and 8 or 9 to the sideline where he sort of just...
The touchdown?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's we were going on a quick count there, in a 5-man protection, and they were showing 6, 7 up guys. It was a tough rep for our offensive line to be able to sort that out as quickly as we did. It was an unbelievable job by those guys, and Coop did a nice job of just kind of doubling up at the top. I felt like I had to kind of cut it loose just a hair early to a spot, and he did what he always does, and that's win on those and make a play.
Matthew, you guys are a couple years removed from winning the Super Bowl. How are you actively having a hand in creating a culture of dominance?
Yeah, just trying to show up every single day, go to work. I'm lucky to be, part of a group of guys that love coming into work, love working with each other, compete in practice, compete in the games. We still haven't put together a 60-minute complete ball game yet, and we know that's still out there for us. And the only thing we can do to get to that point is just continue to work. And lucky to be a part of, like I said, a team and a group of coaches that understand that and enjoy the whole process of doing that. And it's been a lot of fun.
Thank you, Matthew.